right now, let me just give you a quick stat. We are still in Bay Vista, where the largest amount of voters are registered within the Toledo East constituency. So let me just give you a brief statistics from the Elections and Boundaries Department in terms of voters turnout as of 2 p.m. According to the Elections and Boundaries, we've seen 2,771 voters turnout from 7,725 registered. So that's 35.87%. You round it off like we do over here, and that's 36% voters turnout as of 2 p.m. this afternoon. What we saw is that the largest number of voters turned out in the morning. So that was between 8 and 9 a.m. and that was 517 voters, and no other hour has basically overcome that number in terms of voter turnout. The largest after that was number of voters turnout was between 10 and 11 a.m. That was 470 voters. So that was second. And after that, we've just seen a decline. And from 1 to 2 p.m. it's picked up. So we're expecting, as others have been anticipating, that we're going to see those numbers continue to tick or trend upwards in terms of voters turnout for the remainder of the day. We only have 3 hours left before polls are closed in the Toledo East constituency, especially here in Bay Vista, where we've been for the majority of the day. Now, I spent some time speaking with representatives and supporters from both the People's United Party as well as the United Democratic Party. We heard from Musa, who's the area representative in Belize City, as well as the Minister of Home Affairs. We heard from the chairman of the People's United Party, Henry Charles Usher. We also heard from the UDP side. We heard from Senator Herrera, as well as Mayor Earl Trapp. For the People's United Party, because we've seen so many ministers and so many area representatives and so many municipal representatives, we basically asked them if it's a bit of an overkill. You'll hear some of the responses from them on that, and we asked the United Democratic Party representatives basically about how they feel about the turnout today, and if they believe they are at a disadvantage, given the fact that this has, for the last 3 general elections, been sort of a stronghold for the People's United Party. That's Bay Vista and the entirety of the Toledo East, given the fact that late Mike Esbat, won in this constituency in the last 3 general elections. So we'll hear their responses, and so I'll ask you guys in studio to cue that up. Here are those interviews. Mr. Musa, tell us a bit about what your journey, your traversing has looked like since polls were open this morning.
Yeah, so I went out by Forest Home approximately about 9:30 this morning. I think it started out slow, but as we have seen as the day progresses, we have seen more people coming out to give their vote, to cast their vote. And so it is expected that between now and say 4 p.m., there should be somewhat of a surge.
Sir, we've seen ministers, area representatives, standard bearers. I've even seen the AG, mayors, councillors out for the People's United Party. Don't you think this is a bit of an overkill for a by-election?
No, it absolutely isn't, Paul. I think it's very important for us as a party to come and show support for Dr. Osman. Everyone knows his performance as CEO and all of that. And so without campaigning, so to speak, we all felt it necessary to come out here and show our support for Dr. Osman.
Is the results, or will the results of this be an indication of where the People's United Party stands in terms of its popularity and in the minds of the people? Though this is only focused in Toledo East,
We have a general election coming up, only about a year if a snap election is not called.
I would say so to some degree. Like I said, we are very confident coming into this election as we were with the city council and town council elections. And so I think you can feel the temperature on the ground, and I don't see anybody leaning towards the other side. So for us, it is a clear indication.
As one of those executive members as well as a cabinet member.
I'm not an executive,
okay.
I'm in cabinet.
You're in cabinet,
yes.
All right. I consider cabinet to be executive. that's just my thought. But do you see the results, whatever the results of this election, if PUP is to secure a win here, that this would prompt the party to call an early election?
Well, as you know, the elections are due next year, November 2025. That would be the 5-year mark. And of course, that is something that's entirely in the discretion of our Prime Minister when that would be. And so, again, I don't foresee any election coming this year. Certainly, it's going to be 2025. Whether it's called early, like I said, that is up to the Prime Minister.
From the policing standpoint, have you received any sort of info or update in terms of how secure these polling stations are right now?
So far, from the 3 polling stations I visited, everything seems to be in order. We have adequate police security here on the grounds in Toledo East, and so we should have no issues.
Earlier, Commissioner of Police was asked why is it that he's being seen with only PUP representatives, the mayor, area representatives, ministers, and then he was here early with the Prime Minister. Do you take anything of that?
Absolutely not. Who is the majority of ministers? I haven't seen a UDP minister, so if one was out here, I'm certain the commissioner would go and say hello to them as well. But if you come out to the grounds, I'm sure he's greeting everybody from both sides. But if you happen to see him with a PUP minister, it's just the law of chances. The chances are it's 26 of us, so it will be one of us. And like I said, I haven't seen any UDP minister.
Finally, what's your message to the voters as we come towards the second half of this day, coming towards the close of these polling stations?
The message is, of course, come out and support. The message is to come out and cast your ballot. This is a very important election for the good people here of Toledo East, and so as the day goes by, we hope that the numbers go up.
Senator Herrera, talk a bit about why you found it important to be out here today. You're far from home.
Yes, yes, Mr. Lopez. First of all, thank God that we have been here. We've been here since Monday. We have been assisting with the campaign team. Mr. Salva Ak has led this team from day one with about 50 campaigners on the ground, and they have done a formidable job. What we came to do here is just to lend them support, to make sure that we have a system in place that we can make sure that the job get easier for them. And as you can see, by judging of the crowds, we are here one-to-one with the People's United Party, and we honestly believe that we can deliver a victory here in Bella Vista.
What do you expect for the remainder of the day in terms of turnout? How well is your machinery working to get an increase in turnout throughout the remainder of just a few hours left?
Yes, Mr. Lopez. What happened is that most of these people work at the banana farms, and they went to work this morning, and they will be out here, I would say, maybe in an hour or so, and then our machinery is ready to grab these voters and bring them to the polls. Now we expect a little better turnover later on, but all in all, I think our machinery is good and it's doing very well at the moment.
You remain confident, it appears.
Yes, I am confident. You can see we have put in the work. We are doing everything possible that so we can make this thing work. I mean, we are here giving our all. We came here to work, Mr. Lopez. We came here to lend support and deliver a victory for the United Democratic Party.
Mr. Herrera, thank you so much for your time, okay?
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good day.
Mayor Trapp, you are one of the winningest United Democratic Party member right now. You won a municipal election recently, right?
March.
In March. That's only months.
4 months ago.
4 months ago. Yeah. Yes. What would it take for the United Democratic Party to secure a win today?
Well, certainly it has to come from the hearts of the people. It's not a campaign strategy because campaign is over. People have already decided where they're going to go. But the fact remains that people have been crying over the fact that life is hard. Things have been getting expensive. You go to the store with $100, you come up with $30 worth. So if people will not take this platform to send a message, then I'm not sure when they're going to get it. So all I can say, the people have to take the necessary step, and this is the ideal platform for that to happen. So if it doesn't happen now, then I'm not sure what to say, but I can go one step further to say that I believe, and I firmly believe, that this is a measuring rule as to what will take place in the future, which I believe it's this year for the general elections.
You know about disadvantages, in that you faced disadvantages
Yep.
when you went up for the last municipal election. The United Democratic Party is at its advantage statistically in that Mike Espat won the last three general elections in Toledo East. How do you view the disadvantage here in Toledo East for the UDP?
Well, the disadvantage for the UDP is that we are the opposition. The incumbent has the necessary resources of which they have been using. And if the former Minister of Government, the late former Minister of Government, had won 3 consecutive elections, as you rightly said, then it means that he must have been doing something good. So I think that in itself might factor in, depending on the factions, if there is any, because of the convention that took place, and I think his son was a candidate as well. So it depends on the sour taste that remain after the convention. But I believe, though, that people are hurting, and from what I've gathered personally while talking to people in PG, people are saying that this is the opportune time to send a message, and I believe that it won't be what the PUPs are anticipating. It will be better for us.
Minister, talk a bit about your presence here and why you saw it important to be out here.
Oh, it's very important for us to come out from all over the country to support our candidate here in Toledo East constituency, Dr. Osman Martinez. We feel good about the machinery, we feel good about the turnout, we feel good about the support that he's getting here from the people, and I'm confident as chairman of the party that we will deliver a victory here in Toledo East.
I asked one of your colleagues this earlier. We've seen era representatives, ministers, municipal leaders, standard bearers all come out to show support for Dr. Osman Martinez. But is this a bit of an overkill for the PUP, or perhaps a sign that you're not confident that he alone could do it?
No, we are all creatures of politics. We are political.
You live for these moments.
Of course. So I don't see it as any type of overkill or anything like that, any of the words that you use just now. This is about his colleagues here from around the country, supporting him, supporting the people here in Toledo East to make sure that they exercise their right, they can come out and vote, and that we have a big victory here for the People's United Party.
What do you make of the suggestion that after the convention in Toledo East, BUP convention, that there may have been a rift created between those candidates and their supporters, and that may have an impact on today's results?
No, I don't see it having an impact at all. After every contested convention, there are hurt feelings, there are passions that run high during convention. But since that time, the party has been working with the three different candidates and their teams that ran in that convention to make sure that they will support Dr. Osman Martinez. Both candidates, Mr. Melhem Espat and Mr. Nicanor Kenya, pledge their support for Osman, and their teams are out here working for Osman, not only here in Bella Vista, but you see them in other polling areas as well. I came from other polling areas. It was good to see some of our teams in Monkey River, in Otosha, in different places, and I'm going to Punta Gorda Town next, and I'm sure we'll also see a combination of Osmond's team, Nicanor's team, and Melham's team working together to deliver a victory today.
Let's talk a bit about the machinery and what's the most important component of a political machinery on election day. Is it to serve the people while they're out here, ensure they're refreshed, or is it to ensure you have that sort of mobilization of voters in and out?
The most important thing is what's called GOTV, get out the vote. You have to make sure that you get the persons to come out, bring them to the polls, explain to them how they are supposed to vote, show them sample ballots, and making sure that they actually cast that ballot and exercise their right. So that is what we've been doing since this morning, is getting out the vote and making sure that the people of Toledo East vote for their candidate, and we are confident that they will support Dr. Osmond Martinez.
Any anticipation for what the turnout may be like? Over the years, Toledo East has been known to have a relatively high turnout, 69, 70, 75%. What do you anticipate today?
Usually for by-elections, you don't see that big of a turnout. So I don't expect to see numbers close to 70%, but certainly I'm hoping that we can get between 50 and 60% turnout. And I'm confident that with the machinery working for the People's United Party, we will bring out close to 100% of our voters. Of course, in terms of the overall turnout, it depends on the other side, and we can see that they don't have any machinery working, so that will reduce the overall turnout somewhat. But we are confident that from our pledge list that we are bringing out the voters, and we'll see a turnout of between 50 and 60%.
Do you think Mike would be proud to see what's happening here today?
I think that whenever the people benefit, Mike is happy. He was always somebody that was always making sure that the people of his constituency, the people of Toledo East, benefit from the work of government. So to see his people exercising their right to vote today and knowing that Plan Belize will continue to be rolled out here in Toledo East will make him happy.
Quite some interesting interviews there and some interesting perspectives and conversations as well. So with that, we'll end this hour's live update from Bella Vista for the Toledo East by-elections. Of course, this is News 5's coverage. The sun is super hot out here. A lot of hydration is required, but we're expecting that within the next 2 or 3 hours, the sun will go down, and just like that, the polling stations will be closed and the counting will begin. So the next time you see me, we'll be closer to the close of polling stations, and then of course we'll be able to bring you some more updates on what those final numbers for voters turnout will look like. Until then, I'm Paul Lopez reporting for News 5 from Bella Vista.